wanted to play the music. Okay. Okay. So it's 3 minutes in, and I'm just gonna start. And I don't know why I'm so, the only way we get like, it's not right. That's how I feel. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that out. I hope I remember to cut that out. Anyways, today I'm here to, good morning. Good morning. How's your day been? How's your day going? Welcome to another what's it called now? Let's say episode. Is it an episode? Yeah, just yet another day of encouragement, right? And today I want to talk about going with the flow, right? Going with the flow. And this is such an important topic for me because I know I've said this a lot. Learning to flow with the current. This is something I've talked about a lot, right? When I refer to my personality, I talk about how much I'm a go-getter, I'm a planner, I'm a person who likes action, right? I'm all those things, and this is perhaps one of the biggest lessons of my life as I grow, which is learning to flow with the current. And it's so fascinating because the average person does not realize that flowing with the current is the easier way to live. And by flowing with the current, I mean to live a surrendered life, right? And flowing with the current is the easier way to live, right? It's the easier way. It's the no stress way. It's the less stress, less strugglish way. But we live in a world where the teachings, that form the foundation of our lives really center around learning the struggle, learning to hustle, learning to push and fight for what you want. And no, before I even go anywhere into this topic, I'm not here to negate the importance of hard work. I'm not here to, what's the word? I'm not here to um discredit the value of hard work. I'm not here to do a for or against. This is not about hard work. This is about flowing with the currents. So the best analogy I can think of, right? Because of course it's already in the title, flowing with the current. The best analogy I can think of is when you're in water. For those who know how to swim, they'll tell you that when you're swimming, it's easier if you struggle with the water less and move with the flow of the current. That's what I mean. And this applies to every aspect of life, right? So it always does, to be honest. It applies to every aspect of life. But it's going into that ocean or that river or that pool and following the flow. When you swim against the currents, there's already more pressure that you are fighting against. But the biggest pressure is when you struggle to maintain balance in water. Water by nature is a buoyant body, so you cannot be still. Anybody that is inside water will drown. Anybody that is hardened, that's why rocks, when you throw rocks into water, it goes down. When you throw what's it called? Anything metal, it goes down. Anything that is not malleable, anybody that is not malleable, that cannot absorb water, will go down inside water. Any object that is not malleable, that is not flexible, that is made of certain compounds will go down. And that's how it works with us, right? To bring the analogy to life, if you're somebody who is rigid and set in your ways, you are not teachable. There is no surrender or openness in the way you live. That's a difficult way to live. That choice of lifestyle is already difficult. It's already difficult, right? It's already difficult. And the reason this is important is that the world is changing, life is changing, everything is transforming at breakneck speed. I mean, using my life example, I'm so used to, For instance, I want to do research, spending hours reading, you know, I have in this house right now, I have over 100 books, or maybe even more than that. Last I checked, anyways. And I'm so used to the idea of reading and finding information myself and researching and then using Google for support. And then you say there's a chat GPT, and all I have to do is ask it for information to give me every reference. That's how much the world is changing. When I was doing my youth service, I went to teach in this school, and in the school, I was trying to explain to them how um, experiences. I was teaching English, right? English and literature, I think, or English and social studies. Can't remember clearly now, but I know I was teaching English. And in one of the classes, I was trying to explain to the students how um life now, this bear in mind, this place is a very remote area. It's the middle of nowhere, literally a border town. I was sent to a border town. I cried a lot about that, by the way. Different story, but yeah. Moving on. So I'm trying to teach the class. I'm trying to teach about experiences and how certain levels of exposure would change your culture or your regular practices. Now, traditionally, in places like that, people use this stone and grinder to grind pepper, or they use a I don't know what to call it now. It's like a pepper grinding machine that they use commercially. So you take your pepper to the store where, or the house where they have it, they grind it and you pay a fee, right? And there were people that used blenders as well, but there were very few. While I was there, I did not see anybody. I did not know anybody that used a blender. Some people probably had in their houses, or people that moved from more urban cities like me probably had in their houses, but I did not interact with anyone of such. And so I remember telling the students that one of my biggest struggles since moving to this town around cooking is grinding pepper, because I don't know how to use the thing, right? I don't know how to use the thing. And the students, a lot of them were in junior classes, but they were way older. So at the time, I was, I don't know, 24 or 25. And so one, I had a student in my class that was about 18. So she was like the auntie of the class. It was a junior class. That would be like the ninth grade, the eighth grade, eighth and ninth grade. Those are the classes I was teaching now, right? But then it was already secondary school, so we called them GSS, so GSS 3. And so she was like, how can a woman not know how to? And she was very disappointed in me. And I was like, oh, but if you live here, if you leave this town, there are chances that wherever you go to, this will be your new practice. And she's like, I can never. And she's so sure, like, she's just like, these are the basics that a woman should know, and we do that sometimes. Just like that girl in my class, we stick to what we know, and we refuse to see a world outside of what we know. We refuse to accept a reality outside of what we know. And that boxes us, it cages us, it puts us, we're stuck within the confines of our reality. And it even affects how we plan, how we hope. It affects the faith level. It affects how we prospect. It affects everything, because there is already a limit, a stopper in your mind as to how far you can go, what you're allowed to do, what you want to do, how you can move through these currents. And there should not be that. That is something that you must strive daily to eliminate completely, like, in your heart, in your head, eliminate all limits. Look at what's happening, open your eyes and say, I'm gonna be part of this. One way or the other, I'm gonna be a part of this. And if what that entails is my learning more, if what that entails is my reading more, if what that entails is my traveling, I'm gonna open up. I'm going to surrender. And now I'm not referring to adopting habits or cultures, because I spoke about it the other day, where I said that this is not a case of if you can't beat them, join them. This is not what I'm talking about. That's not what applies in this case. That is a different reality, because that's a different situation or a different context. Because there might be people who will watch that and then watch this and then get the wrong message. So that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you must get to a place where you are malleable. You are teachable, and you live surrendered. Surrendered now, not to culture or to the changes happening in the world, but to God, of course. Because the truth is, the one who will give you all those ideas and insights, the one who will lead you through those currents is God. And so if you don't surrender to Him, it's going to be difficult. Excuse me. So yesterday was Christmas. Today is Boxing Day. And yesterday when I came on, I was like, okay, we're not doing any encouragement or sharing today. It's just me hanging out, right? It's just me hanging out and chatting. And that's what yesterday was. And in the middle of that, somebody asked me, one of the people who attended the live asked me, oh, so what's your plan for tomorrow? I'm like, my plan for tomorrow? My plan for today, rather. What's your plan for today? And my plan for today is, I'm gonna chill, maybe pray a bit, and then go visit my family and stuff. And somehow, while speaking about that, it led me to talking about how important it is that your spirit must be in a place of constant alertness. Your spirit must be in a place of constant connection. In prayer, we call it brooding. Your spirit must constantly be brooding. You must be in that place where you are listening for God's leading. You are listening for God's insight. You're listening for what God will do or not do for you. You are listening for direction. Because when you try to apply your systems and your values and your metrics to it, you cage the thing, you put it in a box, you put it in a confined space where the things that can happen are already predetermined by you. And the problem with this headspace is that your knowledge of life or lack of it, whatever, your knowledge of life is limited. Your life experience, even if you're someone who is well traveled, well spoken, well learned, and well everything, your knowledge of life at the core is still very limited. So there has to be a place where something greater than you is leading you. There has to be a place where something greater than you is giving you insight. There has to be that place where it is someone or something greater than you that is teaching you. And that's why you cannot decide all the time what to do per your own limited knowledge. There has to be that place of meditation, of prayer, of seeking the face of God and saying, how do I navigate this system? One of the perfect analogies for me when it comes to navigating the currents is my experience. I learned to swim as a full grown adult woman in her 30s. I feel ashamed to say it sometimes, but it's not so bad. I learned to swim last year. And while I was swimming, I remember that, at first I used to struggle when I got into the pool. I would struggle. And then my coach would be like, you have to let go. If you are struggling with the water, you cannot swim in the water. And that stuck with me so much. And that statement, these are words that my coach said to me, but that statement has come to me a lot of times when I'm facing a hard situation and I start struggling. You're worrying with your emotions, you're upset, you want to cry, you want to yell, and there are so many things happening in your heart, and it's just a mess. You have to breathe and calm, let it flow. That's where you flow with the current. If you're struggling with the water, you can't swim in the water. And then my coach would tell me to swim towards the deep end. And he would say, the pressure is better. There's more pressure at the deep end, so you float better. All you have to do when you get to the deep end is not struggle with the water. And I will be like, okay, he's there, he's speaking to me at the edge of the pool, he's guiding me while I'm learning and struggling with the water. Of course, every time I want to drown, every time I feel like I'm tired or I'm just going slowly into the water and I start saying, oh, he jumps in and helps me. But in the moments while I'm learning, he continually drills it in. Don't struggle with the water, swim with it. How you can do that in your own life is to work with God through the currents. Like my coach, in fact, the analogy is so perfect. Every time I talk about it, the analogy becomes even more perfect in my head. Like my coach's voice was guiding me. Extend your hand. Your weak hand is not moving as much as your right hand. Put more strength in your left hand. Put more strength in your left hand. And he's saying, flap your legs more. He's giving me that guidance. He's telling me how to move. I'm navigating the water. One of my favorite things to learn was is it the backstroke, or what is it called? The one where you lay on the water and you look up. Because I'm watching the sky. It's so peaceful. And the whole time I'm learning, I'm hearing my coach's voice. More strength in your arms, flap your legs more. And that guidance, you need that to flow with the current. In my case, while learning swimming, it was my coach. In your case, it will be the voice of God guiding you if you listen. You cannot struggle the same way you cannot keep struggling inside water unless you will drown. You cannot struggle, you cannot keep living life with a headspace of I must fight for it, I must get it. You will weary yourself out. You will get very tired and you will not go very far when you do that. You must be able to sit down, be calm, and flow. And the best way to do that is to listen. God, what's happening now? God, where am I going now? God, what am I learning in this season? What's happening to me in this season? A lot of us, like I said, the systems of the world has taught us one thing. You live this way. Oh, good morning, Trix. Really nice to have you here. Really nice to see you here. Yes. Swimming is a cool sport, right? And in my case, swimming was a great analogy for life, so to speak. It was a great analogy for life, right? Where the water is deeper, there's more pressure. If you struggle, you will drown faster there. But if you don't struggle, you will float better there. You need to be conscious of that in your own daily living, where there is a knowing in your heart that there is someone that leads you, and that should be God. There should be an openness in your heart. The same way I was listening to my coach and he was guiding me is the same principle I decided to apply, where I'm listening, like, God, what are you saying? Which is why, like I said yesterday, I said there must be a place where your spirit is constantly breathing. The best way that you can flow with the currents of life, that you can live a surrendered life, is to listen to the voice of the guide, the voice of the person who patterned life. Life was patterned by God. Life was patterned by God. You are seeing it as after today is tomorrow. After tomorrow is next tomorrow. God is seeing it as everything that will ever happen has happened. I'm seeing it like this. So you need to listen for the voice of God as you walk through life, as you move through life. There has to be a place where you are not deciding. There are people that, and it's a beautiful character. I don't know, Tricks. I don't know where everyone is today. I think there are just two people here today, which is unusual. But then again, it's the festive season, so it's understandable. I'm just glad. I think that at least there will be a replay for anybody to watch later. Since there was one person here, I just decided to start and go ahead since somebody already came, right? And so probably they'll probably watch the replay, which is not bad. But yeah. Um so there needs to be that consciousness as you move through life. There needs to be that consciousness. There needs to be flow. And the best way you will know whether you are living in that flow is the level of peace that you are moving with. So even when there are struggles, right, you're like, these things are hard. It's shaking me. But there's a place where you be like, I'll be okay. Yes, there are struggles, but it's fine. Yes, there are challenges, but it's fine. Yes, sometimes provision is shaky, but it's fine. Sometimes money is not enough, but it's fine. Sometimes the business is shaky, but it's fine. There will be a place where you will just know, I'm fine. Me, Shali, like when I was swimming, there was something my coach used to say to me when I was learning to swim, rather. He would always say, you cannot drown. Trust me, I'm here. And every time I want to now think about, it he didn't used to swim with me all the time with my coach. My coach would put me in the water and stand by the edge of the pool. But every time that I've lost my footing or while learning, I just lost my strength, or there was one day I developed muscle pull inside the water and I just started going down. Days like that, nothing happened to me. In seconds, I'm out. In seconds, somebody has entered the water and carried me up. And that's how it is with us and God. So that's not to say that while you are in this current, while you are in this flow, that's not to say that there will not be times when you actually feel like you are drowning. But you can never drown. Is the thing that was ingrained in me most with my coach. I knew it at some point. Even I started seeing it. I'll be like, I'm afraid, but I know you are here, so I can't drown. And the same way I could trust my coach, as I fellowshiped with God, I started to learn that that's the same analogy for my journey with God. I cannot drown. I cannot shall drown. I will not shall. There's one psalm that I love. David says in that psalm, he says that you will not let your own man, your holy man, see corruption. Another version says you will not let him see shame. Another version says you will not let him see destruction. The point is, to use Yoruba, if Abdul were here, we say Yoruba father father. But the point is, kò lè bàjẹ́ fún mi, right? Because I'm living in surrender to the flow. And that's why your spirit must be brooding. There must be a consciousness that there's a journey I'm in, there is a space I'm in, there is a destiny I'm headed towards. What is that? And I need to follow that path. Some of us, one thing that I learned subsequently, much later in life, when I was younger, there were things I wanted to learn when I was gonna start university. And I remember then my father was insistent on me learning something else. It was like study another course. And after the back and forth, I decided to study another course. At that period, I was upset. I was like, I don't see why, right? I don't see why. But the only good thing that I did in that period was that I just obeyed. And that was it. That's what it will feel like. Sometimes you will get instruction, you will hear something, God will lead you in a way that you will feel like, ah, all he does is good. Exactly, tricks. That's it. You will feel like, I don't know why things are like this. But if you are following God, if you are living in that surrender, you are headed in the right place. You are headed in the right place. You will feel very upset about it sometimes, even. But you will realize that you're actually headed in the right place with that surrender. I was very upset at my father. I was very pained. I was very sad. And I studied that course. And he wanted me to study communications. I wanted to study performance. It was like, if you're already good at performance, no need to study it. Go and study a more professional course. And so I studied communications. And that study has informed a huge part of my career. A huge part. A huge part. Now, the same career is about 13 years old, and I can boast, like, oh, yeah, I've been doing this for years. But that started with that obedience. There are things that God will teach us, there are things that God will have us do that we will not agree with. But when we do it, we will then see the results and be grateful that we did it. That is why surrender is important. Like Trick said in comments, all it does is good. I saw a video and the woman was talking about Jesus, and she said that Jesus was not born to be a carpenter, but he was born to a carpentry household. And he spent the first 30 years of his life doing that. There are things he probably learned in carpentry, in woodwork, in that applied to his ministry, that built the character. Yes, he was God as man, but there were things that he learned in that place that built the character, the speech pattern. I mean, if you spend a lot of time just sawing wood, then at some point you will enter into meditation. uh, we have to come to a place where the struggle is less the focus and it's more the flow. So, how do you go from struggle to flow? The first thing is surrender. The second thing is a consciousness of who is leading you. Like I said, I was conscious of my coach. I was super conscious of my coach. I was I was genuinely conscious of the fact that my coach is there. Anytime I'm swimming, I'll be listening for his voice. If I don't hear his voice, I will shout, "Where are you? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh. Am I doing it right?" He will say, "Yes, continue." Sometimes that's all we need. We need God to be like, "You are on the right path, continue." We need God to say, "I'm with you, don't worry." But you need to know, you need to be conscious. There needs to be a locked in that is God that is leading you. It has to be there. It has to be there. There needs to be that knowledge, that reckoning, that sight, that thing that you see, and you're like, this is the voice of God I'm listening to. Your spirit man has to be alert. That's the way to do this. When your spirit is not alert, you may not hear. Because you see, when you're in the current and you're swimming, there are times when the water will get into your ears. And so what you may be hearing may be warbled. But you have to know the tone. Like, I know the tone, I know the style of my coach's voice. So when I'm in the water, even, and he's saying extend, and somebody else is saying turn, I listen to extend, because I know that this is how my coach speaks. This is Coach Onwe's voice. This voice, I don't know it. This is how my coach speaks. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, I need to extend now. I need to extend now. I need to extend now. Because that's the voice I recognize. That's the tone and style of speech that I have attuned my mind to. If you will be able to flow with the current and surrender, you need to be able to know the voice. You need to be familiar with the voice of the one leading you through the current. You need to be familiar. You need to be able to hear. Your hearing needs to be in tune. And this is why your spirit must constantly be brooding, alert. You are praying under your tongue. It's not even dramatic. As you are just going out somewhere, you are just praying under your tongue, under your, just quietly praying. Even if you're not praying, you are meditating on a scripture. You are singing a worship song. There's something keeping your spirit connected. And I say this because different people practice different religions, right? For some people, they have you know, items that they keep with them at all times, just for them to feel connected in that spiritual space. For some people, they have prayer beads. For some people, they have a cross. For some people, it's some, wrist bracelet thing that they wear. For some people, it's a shawl or a scarf. Whatever it is, there are a lot of people are conscious of this thing where they want to be in that space where their spirit is connected. You must be conscious of that and try to keep your spirit connected. There must be that place where your spirit is connected, alert. You can hear per time, and this will spread into your other relationships. It's already a little past half time, so, or it's at half time now. So I always always have to bring it to the interpersonal relationships. I always have to bring it to how we relate to the people around us, the second person, your neighbor, your friend, your co-workers, your colleagues. It always has to come there, because that's the point of this whole thing anyways. That's the point of this whole thing anyways. And is that even when you are conscious like that, when your spirit is in that place of flow, there will be no struggle in interpersonal relationships. Even there, you can assume flow, and you just have an easygoing air around you, and you love people with ease without guile. When you are offended, you can say, hello, I don't like what you did yesterday. It upset me. I'd like us to speak about it. I'd like us to clear the air. Ease. In fact, it will apply to, if you're following the voice, like I said, if one of the things you're practicing is following the voice as you flow through, you will know this person, don't be friends with them. This person should not come too close. This person should be kept at arm's length, because they are different relationships. They are different relationships. And one of my best references for that is David in the Bible. David had levels of his circle. He had his closest confidants, three mighty men. They were really close to him. They fought wars together. You say David and this guy, only two of them killed 300 people in battle. They were tight. David was thirsty. These guys risked their life to get him water. They went into the enemy camp to fetch water from the enemy's well and get him water. He had those people. He had the 11 after the three. These people were different from the close circle. They were a bigger set. They were also mighty men. They were also generals. They were also this, but they were farther than the three. After the 11, he had the 30. These 30 were way far from the three. It does not mean that they were not close, but they were not as close as the three. After 30, he then went on to have, I don't know, the 7,000, 6,000, 500,000, and they spread out like that. And if you're living in flow, The chickens are not gone. Oh. So the chickens are my neighbors. My downstairs neighbor keeps chickens. So the chickens are for my neighbors. He keeps chickens, rears them, sells them or gives them out. I'm not really sure, but I know he keeps chickens. So they are the ones that make the noise, and it's always I live right above it, so it's like coming from right beneath me. It's like I hear it very loud in my head. They wake me up most mornings, even before my alarm. So it's not for New Year. It's not for Christmas. They are not Christmas chickens. They've always been there. It's just that these days they are louder. And when I first started live, I was using my phone. So my earphones used to cancel the noise. But now it's a bit tricky because the sound here picks everything. But yeah, I'll work on that so that it will be less noise in future live streams. Yeah. But to really, I call the chickens my backup singers because there's no see as backup music right there. As backup music. But yeah, I'll work on it. Soon enough, we'll stop hearing their sound. Um, so to bring it back to what I was saying, is that when you are living in the flow, there's that voice that will be telling you this person should be kept close, this person should be kept far. You will be able to know that this person is a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and this person is an acquaintance that I will do partnership with, and this person is just a business partner, and this person is, you can categorize people. There is no struggle in your relationship. You're not trying to love people that don't love you unnecessarily. You're not trying to enforce a closeness with people that you should not enforce a closeness with. Some of that is what causes struggle, is what causes friction in our relationships. You like this person, you admire them, but your ways don't really go like that. So that's a from far distance relationship, but you want to be close to them. Even that, when you live surrendered in the flow, you will hear the voice of the coach telling you, nah, that's not a friendship you should pursue. There are lots of times like that. I like somebody, I like their energy, is bright, is this, is that. But it's clear that I know in my heart, this is not a friendship I can have. It's not a friendship I can have. So when you are conscious of the voice of the coach, it guides your choosing of your friends. You can choose your friends. They are your friends because you were sent to school with that. So that should not always be the case, right? There are friends, for instance, there are friends that we went to school together. Some of them I'm still friends with. In short, my best friend, I met her in school. But there are friends that I went to school with and I know that we've drifted. And so in my spirit, I still love them. But I know in my spirit that we cannot be close. For the way I want to live my life, for the kind of life I want to live, I cannot be close with this person. I have to guide my heart. I have to guide the kind of conversations I have. There are people you sit with, and when you talk with them, you will feel it that this thing I'm saying, I should not be saying it. This is not the behavior I should be behaving as a parent. You will feel it. Your heart will know. In times like that, is if your mind and your heart is surrendered, that you'll be able to carry yourself away from that situation. It's not a big deal. You love chickens. Yeah, no, for me it's a big deal because it's very loud here. So I don't know how loud it is for the people hearing. I watched one of the live replays and I heard it loudly, but I was using a speaker, so I don't know if it's because I was using a speaker. But yeah, it's bothering me more actually because I'm conscious about it. So I'm gonna probably work on the sound, and maybe tomorrow the sound will be better for tomorrow's live because I will use a mic and see what happens, whether it's better or not. I'll check tomorrow. But yeah, but thank you for saying that. I'm just very conscious of it because it's louder here than I guess over there. I think it's louder here. So yeah, to bring back to what I was saying, and one of the biggest reasons, right, why you must flow with the current and live surrendered is that it always works out. So an experience happened to me some months ago. On this day, I needed to go and buy something urgently, right? My house is in a remote area. So it means that if I want to buy things, I have to like proper, like maybe I want to buy food stuff, I want to buy, I have to leave my house and go to the other side, like come out to the main road, then cross to the other side. And so that day it was raining. I don't have a car, so of course I'll have to go out. And time was going, I had a meeting, everything was jam-packed. And I was just like, I have to go out, I have to go out. So my own prayer was just that rain should stop so that I can go out. So I had planned myself. And I'm one of those people that I pray for every little thing. I pray. So I was like, God, as I'm going out, please let me just see a bike that will take me straight so that I can buy the things because they are urgent. Then I can come back and make my meeting because I had a meeting immediately, like maybe 45 minutes, And when I was going out, so as I prayed, God, please let the rain stop momentarily, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, the rain reduced to a drizzle. For me, that was the miracle. The rain had stopped. And as I got to the estate gate and there were no bikes. I saw a girl waiting for bikes. I was like, you're waiting for bike when it's rainy season. Better be walking. So by my plan, given that I had 45 minutes, I would walk to the bus stop. If I walk fast, in like 15 minutes, I'll be at the bus stop, or maybe less even, depending on how fast I walk. But 15 minutes stops. And then maybe at the bus stop, I'll be able to cross, then see a bike to bring me back. I had done my permutations. In 40 minutes, I should be back home. And so I saw this girl standing at the bus stop. I was like, better don't wait, better go. In my mind, as I got to where she was standing, a car just stopped to pick her. So when the car stopped to pick her, so I turned to look, and the driver was like, "Are you not going?" I said, "I'm going." She said, "Enter, and I can drop you." And so I was like, thank you, God. Oh, that was now the miracle for me. Okay, somebody has picked me now. They'll drop me at the bus stop. When I was now going, she now said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to the other side." So I saw her face when she turned to ask me. I was like, "Oh, are you not?" She owns a salon that I had visited before. I was like, "Are you not the owner of that salon on the other side?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Where are you going? Is it before the salon?" I was like, "Actually, where I'm going is exactly opposite the salon." So she was like, "Okay." And she dropped me because it was right in front of her shop, anyways. She dropped me there. And she dropped me there. I did what I had to do, you know, very fast. Immediately I finished, I came out. There was a bike. He was parking there to clean his bike or something. And so I just said, "Bike, I'm going to the other side." And he carried me. I got back home in less than the 20 minutes, half the time. In less than half the time I had planned. I got home in that 15 minutes that I had planned to use and walk. I got home, finished everything, settled down, had my meeting. And that day I was just thinking, God. And what I realized is that our plans can be beautiful, especially people like me that like permutations like this. Our plans can be beautiful. Our plans can be sound even. Because my plan was solid. I will get what I need to get. I will come back. I will have my meeting. My plan was solid. But whatever we can imagine, the height of it, God is already ahead of it. That scripture tells us that as your thoughts are, as the heavens are far from the earth, so are my ways far from yours, and my thoughts far from yours. You can never imagine where God is taking you completely. You can get a hint, you can have an idea, but you can never imagine the relationships in your life. There are friendships that I made 10 years ago that are now speaking. People that will just be saying, what's up for the past 10 years is now that is now yielding fruit. You can never fully foresee what God is doing to you. Yaladura. Friends are to be chosen and place them on the real current level. Yes. Say Yaladura, please. I'm just a little girl, sir. So we need to be conscious. We need to be conscious. There needs to be a place where every time that you are living, you are not struggling. You're not trying to align it. You're not using your training. You're not using your professional knowledge. Another beautiful thing that I've experienced when I was finishing my NYSC, right? I remember I was praying. I had a prayer spot on the roof of the family house that time. So I used to go to the roof of the house to pray. on the rooftop. Everybody knew that it was my place. Like, that's Kemi's prayer spot. Kemi. So people didn't even used to go there at some point. They just left it for me. And it was so beautiful, right? And I remember I was praying about work, like, God, I'm about to finish service. I need to get a job. I need to get a job. And you know, I didn't even know what I would do because I have many gifts. And so I was like, what will I even do for the work? And God first gave me that clarity on the work I would do, because I'd been writing and writing, and it was just like, yes, you continue writing. And so I said, okay, you know, share this thing. And then he now said, this is your certificate that you've gotten. Is not what will give you the jobs. You don't need that. And that's my NYC was almost 10 years ago. From that time till now, every job that I have done has been a referral. That is not something I can plan. I mean, I will put my portfolio together, use English to package it, apply to a job that is perfect for me. In fact, I will work with a portfolio analyst. They will help me build and package the portfolio. We will apply to the job together. I will not get it. Then someone somewhere will say, oh, there's this place I know of. I think you'll be a perfect fit for it. I'll say, do you know them? They'll say yes. I'll say, okay, I'll apply. They'll say, actually, I told them that you'll be applying. So just apply and go through the process. They did not do mago mago for me. Oh. They did not say you must, they just say, oh, I've recommended somebody. Every job I've done for almost 10 years now has been by recommendation. It's been someone that knows me telling me there's a job here, apply for it. I know them. Every job, without fail. There's no way I could have planned that. So my point is there has to be a place where you actually allow God lead you. You actually allow yourself to flow. And even when you not get that job and God says it's time to leave the job, you have to leave the job. Because the person who give you a good job can give you a better job. And if he does not give you what you consider a better job, like you said in the comments, Tricks, all that he does is good. So if you go from earning, I don't know, 1 million to earning 200K, all that he does is good. Your focus, the proof that you are surrendered, the proof that you are living in that flow is to say, Lord, what am I supposed to learn now? What are you teaching me now? What is in this season that I'm missing? What's happening right now that I cannot see? And if you ask that, he will show you. That's the beauty. Like, that's the beauty of this living with surrendering to God thing. Because he knows. It's like when you have a child that listens to you. Everybody says it. If I bring it to our earthly parents, to me and my parents, for my mother, my brother say it that you like Kemi more than us. For my father, my mother and everybody say it, you like Kemi more than us. But my parents will say, Kemi, no man gbonran. Even if I'm angry, even if I want to fight you, you are my parents. So, and God considers that for us too. He knows that you are living in surrender. So, because you are living in surrender, there is a reward to obedience. I mean, for people that have kids, they know this. The child that listens to you the most, even if you don't have kids, I mean, like I said earlier, I was a teacher at some point. My favorite students were the students that listened to me. Students that I'll give assignment, and as I'm coming in the morning, auntie, they've done the assignment. Students that when they see me doing something in the office, maybe I'm just sitting in the teacher's office because I had an office with another teacher. It was two of us using the office. And they just see me through the window. I'm just there. They'll just come and join me. Auntie, how are you? When I say quiet, they keep quiet. When I say stand up, those students, I loved them. Anytime I'm going, maybe during break, I go get a snack and I meet them like this. I will just give them what I'm holding. It came now, and these are not my children. So how much more when you live in the flow of surrender to God? When you live in the flow of surrender, you can go back and say, God, this thing is shaking me. I'm not saying you should pamper me and cuddle me and, allow me to badger, but show me, because there are times when, for the sake of your children's discipline, you let them do certain things. It will be hard for them and you will see that it's hard for them, but you want them to learn something. So when you are living surrendered, it does not mean that it will be easy. Like I made in the example of me learning to swim. There were times that I was hearing my coach's voice as he was telling me, extend your hand. I was extending the hand and I was still going down. He will wait for me to come back up. It's when I cannot come back up, he will now enter the water and bring me up. But after the first time he brought me up, second time, third time, by the fourth, fifth time, I will start going down. Then I'll come back out and say, I'm so tired. Then I now learned that when I'm tired, I can swim close by. So I now started learning that even if I'm in the deep end, I should swim not too far from the edge. Because if I'm in the middle, it can be hard. But if I'm close to the edge, I can swim to the edge. In short, I now learned that when I'm in the middle, I can locate the nearest edge to me and swim there. That's how you learn. When you flow with the current, yes, it's not that you will not do any hard work. Like I said, this does not negate hard work. You are working hard to go through that current. You are working hard to swim through it, but you are surrendered to the leading of your coach, your master. And as there are times when he will not answer you, like there are times when I'll be shouting, Coach, hope you are there. Oh, I'm drowning. Oh, if he says you are not drowning, don't worry. That's all. I'm tired. Oh, I'm drowning. He will not answer me. He will be there watching me. Oh my God. Oh my God. The first time I had muscle pull in my leg and I entered water, he came to save me. The second time, he saved me and he told me that if your leg has cramps, use your hand. If your hand has cramps, use your leg. The third time I had muscle pull, I used my hand. That's the same way when we are flowing in these currents and we are surrendered to God. There are times that you will now feel like, shame, am I the only one here? That's not true. You are never alone. The same way when I was swimming, I knew every time I entered, at the moment I entered that water, my coach is there. Every time. Every time. Anytime I'm scared, I say, Coach Onwe. He will say, yes. Wherever he is, I will hear him answering me. That's how it is with God. So if God has instructed you, if you are living that surrendered life, it does not negate the difficulty. It does not negate the need for hard work. It does not negate the need to pull your own weight or put in the work. But it makes the flow easier because as you are going, you will know that you are learning. There are things that I'm learning in this season with God that are strengthening my faith. There are things that, simple. Yesterday, I just finished praying and I had call your father. I just called my father to check on him. That was the best conversation we've had this year, me and my father. We just chatted and laughed, and after the call, I felt so happy. I felt so blessed. That's what happens. Like it spreads to your interpersonal relationship. Sometimes it's pray for your friend. I pray for my friend. I call my friend. I just prayed for you. She'll be like, oh my God, you know exactly what I'm going through. Then your bond is stronger. When you live surrendered, right, you will always be able to hear the leading of the coach, your maker. There's a leading that it will constantly, you will know, I'm not doing these things by myself. There's someone leading me. And it will inform your approach to life. It will inform your approach to work. In fact, you will not be holding anything so important again because what will be more important to you is that you are flowing according to the current that God is leading you. What will be more important to you is that you are hearing direction in real time. What will be more important to you is that your spirit will be connected so that you can get, like I said earlier, when I'm swimming, three people can be telling me what to do, but I know how my coach talks because he's the one that has been teaching me. So if somebody's saying, Kemi, stretch your leg, and someone is saying, Kemi, turn, and my coach is saying, Kemi, extend, is that extend I'm doing? Yes, the instructions are coming, voices are coming, but I'm listening to the person that is actually teaching me. So when you are flowing with the current, you are not just flowing, you're actually listening to the guide. Because for every season of your life, God is always ready to speak. In short, is always speaking. You are the one that needs to be in tune and hear. You have to be in a place where your spirit man is open. Your spirit is brooding. There is that connection there. What am I doing? What am I learning from this? What am I learning from this? God will take you from a big place sometimes. He will take you to a small place for a moment. What am I learning from this? What am I learning from this? One time when I was swimming, my coach, I was doing well. I was feeling myself in the shallow end. My coach was like, come, let's try something on the deep end. I said, what's the thing? He said, you need to learn how to swim for survival. I was like, what's that? What does that mean? He said, that means if you suddenly fall into water, you need to be able to recoup your senses and swim. I was like, maybe I can swim. That I'm already swimming in shallow. As I was talking, he just pushed me into the deep end. Oh, Jesus. I was sure that I'm drowning. Because when you fall inside water, you first go down. I was sure that I'm drowning. I was sure that I was drowning. I was like, it don't be for me. But I was like, and they've trained me now. When you don't know what to do, what do you do first? Open your eyes, clear it with water. Clear water with your hands. And so I started, I did this. I'm like, okay, I don't see road now. Where is the edge? And then I found the edge. Sometimes that's what going with the flow means. God will throw you into the deep end, throw you into the shallow end, whatever end. When you get there, you have to find your way, navigate back according to all the things He has been teaching you. And God will continually to teach the person that is surrendered. And you see, the teaching will feel like suffering. Because sometimes I used to get angry with my coach, like, Kilo Day, I'm not trying to compete. It's not Olympics. I just want to be fit and healthy because I have a chubby frame. But then at some point, instead of saying, okay, when people will be plenty at the pool, you say, yeah, let's compete. Let's compete. And it will put me in competition with other people. And I was entering top three. That's when I realized that I had grown. Let me see. Say, I will conclude this to be a discussion of destiny, submission, and adhering to God. It does not mean you will not still face challenges, but you will be led to the destination. I don't have to say anything again. That's all. That's all. When you are submitted, when you obey, you don't have to know all the answers, but you will be led. Yes, tricks. That's all. That's what I came here to say today. That's all I came here to say today. You like it has finished. It is seriously finished though. I don't have anything more to say. This is all it is. When you submit and when you listen, it's not that it will not be hard, but you will get to the destination. You've summarized it perfectly, tricks. I couldn't like there is no way, there is no way that I could put it better. You've said it. This is all I've been trying to say for the past almost an hour now. All we need to do is surrender and listen. The rest will work out. All we need to do is to surrender and listen. And I'm so glad. I cannot even say if you got it because you got it. I'm so grateful that you did, especially since we're already at the end of the live, right? It's already 7:30. I'm so grateful that you got what I was trying to say. Thank you so much for just listening and being with me in today's live. I enjoyed sharing this. And my thing again is if you're encouraged, if you learned something, if you got a new insight, or if this was a reminder for you and your spirit man, then I'm blessed, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today, Trix. I'm so grateful that you just kept the chat going since our resident class noisemaker is not here. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that conversation. Thank you so much. And that's it. That's it for today. Continue to enjoy your holidays. Have a great day. And I do this every day, 6:30 to 7:30 every day except Sundays. And so I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go now to come back and share some more thoughts and encouragements for tomorrow. But yeah, remember, follow God, surrender, listen to His voice, and everything will be fine. And that's all I came to say today. I'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Bye.